think it's time for me to learn how to spread my wings and to fly by myself for a while, which hurts because, life was good when we were flying together. Hey y'all, I'm recording because I want to talk about my first therapy session ever that I had today, this morning. It was honestly perfect timing because I have a lot going on in life, and I think the Lord really put me in the perfect spot to start therapy. And I want to kind of share how my first experience was, because I've never done counseling or therapy or anything like that. So today obviously was my first session. It was chill. I mean, today I woke up feeling pretty alright. I'm actually going through a breakup right now with someone who I really, really love, and was in love with. And things change really fast, just like in a split second. You never know what's gonna happen, and life really took a turn, really. I was with him for a year and like a few months, and he was very just impactful, is what I'll say. A Friday was kind of like the worst part of the breakup, I'd say, where I felt like really hurt, which is surprising because I would think that the initial breakup was the worst. It was needed. I had to say, this cannot be anymore. We cannot be together. There's something wrong. But I love hard, especially for him. And so I wanted to remain friends and to stay in touch and to be like, hey, we can still be cordial and cool. It's just, there's going to be a different type of boundary. And I think I failed to keep that boundary. And I ended up hurting myself in the end, but also getting really hurt by him on Friday, all over again. And probably, I don't know if it's a worse way. I don't know, I just felt more impactful because it's like, wow, things really cannot be the same. We cannot be friends. We cannot talk. And it really sucks because he brought so much comfort to me, so much joy. He understood me for the most part. But in the end, I don't think it was intentional, and maybe it was, but I feel like I was giving more than he was giving me. I gave so much of myself, of my energy, of my time, of my love, of my heart to him. And I think he gave as much as he could. I think he's going through a lot, and in situations like that, it's hard to get someone to be the person you want them to be. I mean, there has to be a lot of change, and so no matter how much I love him, I think change was needed in order to continue that relationship, and change doesn't happen overnight. When we first broke up, there was a piece of me that really wanted to say, this is not the end, the Lord will bring us back together. And not that the hope is gone, but that I think I've kind of seen a lot more of him in the last couple of days, and then where he's at. And I'm not quite sure if that is what the Lord is calling us to, which really hurts. But we will see. It's not something I'm focusing on anymore, or that I'm really allowing myself to think about our future, because I think there's a lot of time, healing, growing that needs to happen before we can even think about possibly coming back together to each other. There would just have to be a lot of change within ourselves, within me and within him. And so that brings us back to therapy, where I want to kind of introduce this new thing into my life, because I do think it'll be a great change. To just focus on me outside of a relationship, because right when I got into college I was in a relationship. And I think it's time for me to learn how to spread my wings and to fly by myself for a while, which hurts because life was good when we were flying together. It was fun, and I do think it was authentic and true love. But I think the circumstances of his life and of his mind and of our relationship it wasn't gonna, lead to any further growth, anything else that we could give to each other at this point, which sucks. But I do think it was needed, and I think pain is needed. The suffering is needed so that we can rely on the Lord, because he is and will always be there. No matter what happens between me and him, he's the constant that will remain. So that's kind of how I've had to get myself to look at things, because this is my first heartbreak. So it's kind of like, dang, this is how it is, huh? Because you think you have something special and something that is unchangeable. Love, or I felt our love cannot change, and I think not that the love lessened, but that it just didn't show up in the way that it should have. I don't know, to be honest, but I think therapy is gonna be great. The first session was a mostly introductory type of session. She told me a little bit about herself at the beginning, and then I told her about me. I told her my goals that I wanted out of therapy, which is to learn how to be a more structured, confident woman of God who walks in faith and who, like I said, walks in confidence, so that I can be successful in what the Lord wants me to do. And I think I've just had a lot of anxiety that has worsened, and I would like that to stop, or not stop, to be more manageable. And so I think this will be, a good way to do that, but also getting back in line and back in relationship with God. And that's kind of what this is gonna be. And so yeah, I'm really excited. I know I got my hoodie on. I'm looking kind of sad, but I'm out of focus this whole time. I don't know. The devil trying to get me all day, trying to get me out of focus. Here, I'm gonna be back, y'all. But yeah, I want to kind of document this journey because I have a lot of things that I think the Lord is calling me to that I don't necessarily know what they are yet, but I'm excited to learn and to just live and to learn about myself more and to develop and to mature. And yeah, so that's what this is. My therapist gave me homework, and it was to, because I told her my goal was to, obviously be someone who's confident, but also confident in God's will for me, because I think that's another thing that I struggle with. as an overthinker is, I'm like, is this the Lord's will? Is it my will? Is it da-da-da? Is it the devil trying to lead me astray? And I have a lot of thoughts like that as an overthinker. And so she was like, I want you to find in the Bible how we can be confident in the Lord's will and what he wants for us. And she suggested the book of James to take a look at. I may look at other books, but I just did a little today of just a little bit of homework on the book of James. Uh-oh, my water bottle fell. And I read the first chapter and a little of the second chapter, or actually I think the whole second chapter. And honestly really it was just speaking to me, because I was like, wow. And also I've been not as close with the Lord, and so I've been trying to slowly in the last few weeks grow or get closer to him, get back to that place where I used to be, and hopefully grow past that. But I was like, wow, I remember what it was like to feel the Lord, to hear him, and to see him in his word. Sorry, and to be seen by him. And so I'm just really grateful to have read this today and been like, wow, Lord, you're speaking to me. I'm getting it. It's clicking. One of the things I wrote down is, when faith is tested, your endurance has the chance to grow, which was in verses 2 and 3 of chapter 1. And this really spoke to me because I recently realized that I didn't have the faith I thought I did. I've been a believer since I was like really, really young. I grew up in the church, and you always hear faith without works is dead, which is literally the thing that I preached on last month. And I realized, yes, faith without works is dead, but I didn't understand the weight of it. I think I was living a lot of like, I have faith, but I wasn't producing a lot of works. And I was like, do I really have faith? What do I have faith in? What do I really have faith in? You know, is my faith split? Which it also talks about in James 1 verse 6 and 8. Faith should be in God alone. A divided faith or loyalty leads to unanswered prayers and instability, which is kind of a synopsis of those verses. Or not a synopsis, but a condensed version, because I didn't want to write the whole verse. But that's just kind of the main points that I took away. But you know, when your faith is divided, you know, the Lord isn't, or the Lord is faithful to you, but if you're not faithful to him, you cannot fulfill the things that you have prayed for. It also leads to like instability in your life, and that I was seeing myself, where I was like, instability. We are not stable. And that's, I think, where a lot of my anxiety came from. And my therapist was saying, you know, anxiety comes from an unbelief. And that really spoke to me, because I'm just like, yeah. And I think the hard part is I don't really know what the unbelief is. I believe in, you know, the Lord. I believe in his word. And so I think I really have to dig deep in what I'm not believing. What am I scared of? What am I holding on to? And so I have noticed, though, like, especially through this breakup, I struggle with control, which I knew already, but really noticed it in this relationship as we were breaking up. Like, I really struggle with letting go. Like, just let go, let God do the thing that he needs to do, no matter how much I knew, like, this is the Lord, he is calling you to distance, to move on. I was like, just okay, my camera is really playing with me. Like, actually, I had my SD card in, said it got full. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Right, control. So I struggle with that, letting go. It's hard, and I think that's what I struggle with the most, and where my anxiety comes from. It's just like, is everything gonna be okay? What can I do? What am I not doing? And then I also have like this mindset where I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I don't know what to do, and so I'm anxious about what God's will is for me to do, but also my own desires, and if the things that I want to do align with what the Lord wants. And I think a lot of the anxiety also came with being kind of more distant from God than I usually am, or than I should be. And so I was like, okay guys, we need to lock in. We need to lock in. Okay, we need to lock in, because all this anxiety is coming from my disbelief in the ability of the Lord to do what he said he was going to do, but also in the divinity of his power, and just really truly believing in what the Lord can actually do. I can read it, I can say it all I want, but really believing that the Lord is for me. He is for me, and he loves me, and he does everything for his glory, but also he loves his children, and he blesses those who rock with him. And so I had to remember that. I think as we grow closer to Christ, he reveals those things in us, and it's not in a way of course we hate sin, but we do not hate ourselves for we are sinning, but it is our desires that we are in the root of those desires that we should be attacking. And so when we come to him, he's able to cleanse those icky parts of us. That is what Jesus does for us, so that we can become the people the Lord has called us to be. And so that is what I'm striving for. Frick the people who, did me dirty. Frick the relationship I thought I needed, or that I really, really, was invested in. Forget those things, because what the Lord is doing, and I just read about this in, what was that in? I think it was Psalms 34 or 37, where it talks about, let the Lord do his thing. Forget about the past. Keep moving, because the Lord is doing a new thing. And he's already begun. And so I just have to walk. I just have to, follow him, and everything will be all right. And so I just want to encourage you, whether it's me on the other side of the screen, or I've decided to post this for whatever reason, forget about all those things, all those people, those circumstances. The Lord is ready to do a new thing in you, and all you have to do is say yes. That's it. All you have to do is say yes. I don't know, I'm getting emotional. I'm a sensitive girl. So, but yes, it's emotional because we can do nothing to deserve it, to deserve such love and such care from God, but he just does it because he loves us. And all we have to do is say, I accept your love, and yes, and walk in that. And so a lot of us get stuck in the pain and the suffering, but through that pain, as I read, there is endurance. There will be the light at the end of the tunnel, whether you can see it right now or not. And I'm speaking to myself because I'm going through it right now. But though I cannot see that light, I know that it's there, because the Lord is with me, and he's guiding me, and he is the light. He is the way, he is the truth, and he is the life. So yes, amen. So yeah, I don't know that this video is gonna be where it will go. Maybe it'll just be for me for reflection, when I get out of this season and into a new one, and I recognize how far I've come. But I'm excited, and I'm excited for you, because the Lord is doing something new. But yeah, thanks for watching.